Welcome. Welcome to 2011, the safe haven, as I called it, the diary, the journal, the, any way you want to call it, the oasis, you know, uh, deep dive into personal, my personal life. But again, personal life to anybody ever needs to come in and share life with, you know what I mean? Um, Of course, I gave a sample, gave a preview of what I wanted to do, what this is all gonna be about, and you know what I mean. It's just something real dear to me that I really wanted to kind of push and share, for that matter, um, because it's literally something that's really dear to me. Like a lot of things I go through, a lot of things that, like, you know what I mean, that I hide behind. Not to say hide behind, but like that I just don't like to share are dealt with in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've always been one that was kind of just like don't worry about me type. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. I'm always gonna be fine. Like just let me rock. I was always that type person, and never like to really depend on too many people outside of circles or even inside circles for that matter. It just always was a thing that was just like, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, I gotta handle it. No one else can handle it. I gotta handle it. Like my family was literally um family is really like a vital thing for me. You know what I mean? I never like to see my family like go through heartaches when they don't have to. I never like to pin my problems on family. Um, I mean, that's what we kind of go break down to today is kind of just family. You know what I mean? I call them the gift and the curse. You know what I mean? They're the ones that you can't get rid of, but you always love. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? The ones that you really want to get rid of sometimes, but you just can't because again, they're your loved ones. Their connection is always going to be there, regardless if you like it or not. Can't choose your family. God chose you to be here. That's trying to be too spiritual, but it's definitely one that it's like, you know, you never have like. All right, for me personally, I grew up close to the family. I got my mom's side, I got my dad's side. Of course, on my mom's side, and even though, and of course, on my dad's side, I'm the youngest boy, the youngest grandson. I am the third grandchild on my dad's side. I am the fifth on my mom's side. And being the fifth, or let's just say me and my sister, last two grandchildren, has moments. It had his gratuity on my mom's side a lot, mainly because of the fact that with my cousins, we literally grew up like siblings. They were literally my extended siblings. Um, my oldest one being Jason, who's 10 years older than me, followed 3 years by Whitney, 3 more years by Andrew, three between Andrew and Courtney, two between, well, not even two, I'm sorry, 8 months between me and Courtney, and three after my sister. Um, so it was always like I grew up really tight. First, on my dad's side, it was Deja was first, who was 10 years older than Marissa, my sister, and then David was after her, and then came me. So it was just small gaps, but again, the big differential. Um, and it's it sucks because the fact that I had to like the bond between my dad's niece and nephews should have been stronger, like how it was with my mom's niece and nephews. And not to blame, not to point fingers, but it primarily came because of the fact of uh, my dad not necessarily being around. And so that's what I mean by gift and curse. Like I grew up single parent home, you know, and it was probably the toughest things that I ever had to deal with because the fact that I was of age where I could remember everything. I was 10 years old when my parents decided to split. And of course, I remember good moments. I remember, you remember the good moments, but you also remember the bad. And the bad were bad. Like they weren't good moments. They weren't proud moments. They were literally moments that shifted and shaped everything going forward. Some for the good, some for the worse. The worst being it took a part of it burned a bridge that I needed and wanted with my dad's niece and nephews. Like I said, when it comes to David Deja, uh, of course, like I knew where they were. I grew up, of course, knowing them and interacting with them, but there was a big gap in which I didn't. It was taken away, and it's unfortunate because the fact that as adults, me and Dave look back at it, and it's literally it was a blessing in disguise. In fact, it's like I mean, the bond that we had, you would think that we were separated, basically. You know, you wouldn't think that there was a hurdle in which we had to jump over and explore. Dave's like literally like again. It comes to Dave. He might say, he might not say. I'm literally like ride or die, like right hand man. Like I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Dave needs something done. I'm gonna go and try to get it done. Do my best to try to get it done. Um, if Dave want me to call somebody out their name, I'll call somebody out their name. That was just us growing up. Dave want me to come out here over there with him, I'll come out there over there. You know what I mean? He didn't necessarily have me around bullshit because there was opportunities to have me around bullshit. But at the same time, if he had me around bullshit, I'll be around the bullshit. I'm cool. You know. But I really wish that he got to see me like in my teenage years a lot more than what he did. Especially when it came down to like my youth football career. Like I feel like Dave would have probably really enjoyed seeing those times. You know, like I know I really wanted like even my uncle and God bless his soul. Like I know he definitely would have loved to see it too. Um, because it literally was everything that they did when they grew up. You know, those two they bonded, say through the sports and everything like that. And it sucks. I didn't have that. I didn't have my actual dad here and present. Let's just say present because he was alive. But I didn't have my dad present during those times when I literally would have wanted him to be there. Uh, even like middle school, when again I wrestled sixth grade. I didn't do it in seventh grade just for grade for academic purposes, academic reasons. But I yeah, I wish dad was there. I mean, granted, like I had like. And I call him my stepdad just for the fact that he's been around for so long, but and it's just that respect I give him. But I had my stepdad there, but and like I even had my uncle Brian was there too. That's another thing. Like he actually helped push some of the stuff too. Like, he used to help to get to practice. Um, my first year of actually playing football, which again is just so crazy to really think that like I should have been playing for the longest time because of course I was a stocky kid, so they always looked at me like, "You're not playing football." I just never did. Just never had the opportunity, never had the chances of like my mom probably just didn't know where to start. But my uncle kind of help get me started with that. Even to the point where like he was like help me even try to like lose weight, make weight. My uncle Brian was the man around the time. But yeah, not having my dad there is shaped a lot. You know what I mean? Like I literally wanted him to see those moments. I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced those times when like you don't have both parents there, but like those times where like abandoned, like you feel abandoned. And again, knowing what happened with your parents as far as the divorce and understanding the fact that neither one of them are going to live in the same house anymore. You know what I mean? And then you also have a younger sibling. It literally puts you in a position where as though you are the older sibling as well as I say it lightly, as well as the parent. And I say it lightly because again, it's like I'm not my sister's parent, but it's like I damn near, you know what I mean, raised her. Well, no, I ain't gonna say raised her. I was literally the prominent male in her life. Literally. You know what I mean? I became the man of the house at a young age. I'm literally 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, under pressure of making sure my mom was happy, making sure my sister was good, still maintaining to try to be a kid. You know, those dark times during that time, like feeling abandoned, you just wanted you just wanted a hug. You know what I'm saying? You just wanted a male figure there to literally give you a hug, a dad figure. Like I said, I had like and one of the prominent dad figures I had then, he wasn't my dad, but he might as well have been was my Uncle Ron. And like and I definitely would like God bless his soul too, like for what he did, what he showed Uncle Ron wasn't a man of many words. Neither was my Uncle David. Hear me out. They weren't men of many words. But when they did, you know what I'm saying, it counted. They always they paid for they gave you back your everything that you wanted through actions. My Uncle Ron literally he would like again, we were his niece and nephews, me and my sister, and like again, we damn near were his kids, how much we were over there. We literally would want to we never wanted to leave. Again, we were with our siblings the whole time. I mean, I had my oldest cousin Jason was probably like he was the one I really idolized to be. You know what I mean? He had the Nintendo 64, he had the Sega Dreamcast. He wanted to get into PlayStation and everything like that. And granted, my aunt, she was all for it too. She was the one that played them. She played the game. She played the Ratchet and Clanks and everything like that. So again, another one to my aunt Sharon too, because she was literally like the mother, the second mother that again I was known to have. Um, at such an early age, they called me Matt Daddy. You know what I mean? Like I was literally the y'all gotta bear with me a little bit. It's just hard. I was literally the you know what I mean. I was a Leo. Being born in August, of course, it strengthened the bond between me and my aunt. Saying granted, my aunt loved me anyway. Like all my family loved me, but like my aunt Sharon, like she literally embodied the fact that it's like it's another Leo in his family. You know what I mean? And like it was literally like her third son. You know, I wasn't, and no offense to him, I wasn't light skinned like Jason and Andrew were. Like I was brown skinned like my, you know what I'm saying? So of course I was there all the time. And like we shared moments, we shared great times together. Again, they go to Ocean City. Me and my sister wanted to be there. They go to uh, it was go to a hotel like the hotels around the corner. Like we go there, make sure we always there. Like it was for what we had to deal with the one side of our family, not necessarily having the other. It's definitely a blessing having the one side that the bridge was never burned. And again, I say that lightly because the fact we didn't burn the bridges. The bridges were kind of slipped and taken away from us. Those opportunities were taken away from us because of the fact that nobody necessarily knew how to. Well, as an adult now, I can say it. My dad took those away. Um, my dad took those away, and it literally, dad thought that having phone calls over, and let me just get into that. My dad thought phone calls were the acceptable way of still being interacted with his children. He thought that was him still playing his role. It is still it was effective and worked. No. One thing I never had to experience, much like I'm saying, well, not much like, but like some of the men out there in the world and in the time, young men in the world, was having to see my dad on the other side of glass. Never had to experience that. I had experienced some other stuff, but I never had experienced that. And so my dad wasn't necessarily incarcerated, but those phone calls made it feel like it was. Because it's like I didn't get to see him physically. The man that raised you, that you call dad, you never want to see, you never want to not see them as a child. You want to make sure, like, I'm I'm a kid, I'm a boy. Of course, you'll look up to the first male figure that's in your life, the one that's your authoritarian. You're gonna look at that and you're gonna want that. I didn't have that for the longest. And like I said, it's a gift and a curse because I look at everything that, and every time that he wasn't there, and I'm there for my kid, which I will talk about on a different pod, like I mean on different episodes, on different time, but it literally shaped everything. So everything that I didn't get from him is everything my son is going to get from me. And again, it's not to say that I don't love my dad any less than what I ever should, or I have hate for my dad. No, there was a time when I did, yes. As an adolescent, everybody's went through that phase where they said to their parents they hate them. You tell me it's not true, you're fucking lying. Gently. I said gently. Because again, it's just totally not true. But it definitely it burned me inside, and I didn't share it as much. It burned me, the fact that it burned my sister, but she could never necessarily grasp the concept of what it was. And I'm always one to, again, hide my emotions to say I'm okay. Again, that is literally what made me do that. That is literally what shaped me from masking what's wrong with me to belittle my problems. because I had done it for so long. If you have ever felt as though you didn't matter to somebody that you truly love, family member wise, then you know exactly what I felt. A phone call couldn't change. A phone call would be a band aid. It was never the solution. Never the solution. And it sucked because it was literally all you can accept. It was literally all you could ever. You couldn't press for more. You couldn't ask for more because like you didn't know if it was going to be received. You didn't know how it was going to be received. You knew that there was going to be an excuse behind it though of why. Maybe not in full detail, but you got concepts. After many times of I'm gonna be there moments, it numbs you. It numbs you. I remember graduating, and that was probably the hardest time ever. Reason being, because I had seen my dad in between, like, well, my high school years. I seen him. He came up for my grandfather's funeral, his dad, and that was the first time in years. First time in years that again it was physically. It wasn't a phone call. Again, we're talking before FaceTime, guys. Before FaceTime, of course, you only had that. Again, you only had that. Couldn't necessarily have face-to-face interaction. Before Uvu, and of course, what parent is downloading Uvu? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's before that type time, but it's like it's literally, you know, phone calls, and that being it. My uncle David, before he had passed, me and him had many conversations, and a lot of them circled around. You know what I mean? The moments in which he missed and definitely wanted to be a part of. Definitely wanted to be a part of. Would have loved to have been a part of. And it just sucks. I'm sorry. Because it was literally, you know, it was vital. There was a vital times. And didn't necessarily, my dad didn't necessarily care for sports. My dad didn't care for sports at all. My dad's sport was a Bible. My dad's sport was smokes. My dad's sport was battling himself. When it was time, when there was situations, my dad always just battled himself, enjoying himself. You know what I mean? Like, but one thing I won't say is that my dad he was good with us. He might have did some bullshit. He might have did some things some ways that like are unexplainable. But he knew how to handle us, me and my sister. Um, because we were literally again we were clowns just like him. Like again, me and my sister, and I hate to say it, like we literally like I treat her like she's like my brother. Like we're rough. You know what I'm saying? The way we talk to each other, the way we kind of interact with each other. It sucks to say it because like I literally, she's my sister. Um, but it's like we how we interact with each other. It's straight shot, no chase. Like I said before, that's just how we go. That's how we rock. Like that's my dog. Like, best believe some bullshit happened to me, we on it. Some bullshit happened to her, I'm on it. I ain't gonna snap out like I used to, and I don't want her to snap out like she used to. Nigga ride or die. We might go and like thing is like nobody can go at each other. Nobody can go at one another. Like nobody can come at me. Nobody can come at her at any type of high intensity level, but each other. It's like we not having it. Like if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be me. She'll try to say the same thing. Everybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be her. You know what I mean? That's how we rock. But it was literally it's all we were all we had like growing up. Like and that's why I appreciate her so much. Like she doesn't necessarily realize it, and, but like literally, my sister was is literally like my heart. You know what I mean? And she like of course like on my arm. This is the one that got finished. My other arm's getting finished too, but that one it meant a lot. It meant a lot. It's crazy because like in like previous relationships, they always would say that I don't necessarily want to deal with my sister, and I was tell you with her mouth. Again, my sister would let it rip. She has like for me, you know what I mean? Much like how I used to do for her. Because we're literally all we have. You know what I mean? And it's just how things have always been. There'll be times when we don't talk. There'll be times we say each other. There's times where we literally didn't want to deal with each other. But when push comes to shove, we literally have each other's back more than what's ever perceived. Uh, to the point where it's like literally like, hey, my son just won't leave her the hell alone. Again, it's the interaction. It's the bond that's created. And I again say this slightly. My son is literally like her little brother. The way he gets on her nerves, the way how he always wants to be watched by her. He wants to interact with her. He's always in her room, in her face, and everything like that. He's literally, you know what I mean. That's the bond that he has, and I love it for him. You know what I mean? Because it's like at the end of the day, I want my son to be close to everybody in his family, to love and know who all his family he can trust, to know that. And I'm going off on a different pod. I mean, a different episode, different entry, what to do, but definitely understand that. But no, gift and the curse is definitely with family. You love and you hate them, but at the end of the day, you can't get rid of them. You know, and I mean, of course, like I wouldn't be able to do any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, that's the curse. But like the gift is having my mom. Again, my mom very family oriented. She's the one that kind of kept us close to my cousins too. Without her, the bridge would never. The structure of the bridge to my dad's side of the family would have crumbled. She showed another way. Her showing another way reconnected me and my sister with that side of the family. Literally, she would be the one to kind of coordinate us going back to my grandmother's, staying there with her. And again, it was also to give mom a break. Let's be honest. I know for a fact she'd be burnt out with us too sometimes. And like, I ain't a single parent. You probably understand. You get burnt out sometimes. But yeah, no, literally, I'm grateful for that because again, without mom ever taking the efforts or without mom having the notions of being family oriented, we never would have had the avenue, the time that we spent with my grandmother, who, no offense, was my favorite grandmother. With no offense, I know I'm my favorite grandchild. But, um, yeah, like, it was tough. It was tough. But, everything's worked out, though. Everything worked out. I'm just in deep thought, yo. I'm saying, so you just gotta bear with me. But either way, I'm happy that you guys even listen to this. I'm happy you guys like, just kind of heard me out. Just guys heard this first entry that I want to give you in 2011. Look forward to the next one soon. I'm not going to necessarily give you a date with this one because it all depends on how deep I want to get with things and how emotionally I want to get that day. And I'm holding back a lot right now. Just kind of rehashing stuff and talking about it, sharing it. Again, I'm not used to doing this, but it's everything in which I feel as though will create and strengthen the bond within myself to help me strengthen the bond with anybody else. Of course, with any upper power, higher power that you believe in, of course, just know that's going to strengthen that bond with that too. Understand you're not alone with anything. You don't have to be alone if you don't want to. Everything can be yours for the taking. There's no glass ceiling unless you put one on there. The sky's the limit with everything. And so make sure that you always push yourself and do that wherever you need to do it. With that being said, this is 2011. I'm Matt. I'll try next time.